Hey folks, welcome to Maroon Mondays Live. This is episode 10. I'm Andrew, your host, and this week's show is decidedly less packed than of previous weeks because interest, and these are big stories. One concerning Chris Christie, New Jersey governor, who shut down beaches for basically citizens of the state, and then was caught opening one beach for only his family. It went as well as you expected, and he did not show any remorse for it. He also went on public radio to discuss sports, but ended up discussing the incident with many listeners. We'll get to that in a moment. And one comment from a listener really shows how much contempt we all have for him, not just in the state, but also in the country. Also coming up, a Black Lives Matter activist, best known for his great work in restoring the faith and equality for all Black people across America, has gotten himself into hot water, not because of his work, but because of an incident involving a movie, a part of an iconic movie series. May look like him, not because of his face or of his features, but because of a vest that is similar to the one that McKesson and this guy, DeRay McKesson, the guy I'm talking about, wears. I am not pleased with what he had to say, and if he ever hears this, I'm sure he wouldn't either. But honestly, his opinion is what made me pissed off. That is coming up a little bit later on. Also coming up, Shia LaBeouf. We all know him as a very talented actor, but unfortunately these days his talent is only in second position to what he's going to do now, as he has gotten himself into another crazy incident, this time involving a Black cop who he proceeds to curse off at and gives a very racist rant that really makes me think his days as an actor will definitely be over. Doctor Who will be back for next season, but with a different, entirely new face. And for the first time ever, it is not one of a man. I cannot tell you how excited I am just yet, but just so you know, this is definitely change in the making. And it's definitely putting everyone on notice. Television history will forever be changed from this news. That's coming up towards the end of this week's show. Excuse me. It's not really thick. But let's get started with Mr. Crinkle Cut himself, Chris Christie, and the controversy surrounding closing local beaches to everyone but his family. Where to start? Chris Christie is not a governor that is very well liked in his state of New Jersey, or basically in the country, as he has become, or should I say, of governorship in the country. At a measly 15%, he has pretty much stocked himself as the lowest rated politician in America. I'm not sure if at least in governorship or of all of American politics. But if so, he really does deserve it, because he's really put his state in a state of utter pain, utter banality, and utter embarrassment. And after this next incident I'll mention to you, he definitely deserves his place there. And when even President Donald Trump has a higher rating than you, sir, have fucked up. Now, this incident involves closing down local beaches. Now, the reason for that is because of a financial situation the state is in, which I assume mostly is because of his carelessness as governor. Now, and basically, really puts us all in a state of punching him in the face. Now, according to this article from Philly.com, his response to the controversy is this: "That's just the way it goes." And the article continues, "That was Governor Chris Christie's response to reporters on Saturday when asked why it was okay for his family to vacation at Island Beach State Park over the 4th of July weekend, while everyone else was locked out of the popular destination because of the government shutdown Christie ordered, leaving state parks, beaches, and other facilities closed. The governor has a residence at Island Beach. Others don't," Christie said. Run for governor and you can have the residence." New Jersey owns a residence at the beach where the governor can use. Christie's office confirmed Saturday evening that Christie would be spending the holiday weekend with his family at the beach house in the park. Turned to the State House on Sunday, where he called lawmakers back in a failed effort to resolve the budget stalemate. Sunday, Christie said he's planning on returning to Island Beach State Park by helicopter tonight. This article is obviously old. "That's where my family's sleeping, so that's where I'll sleep tonight," Christie said. "When I have a choice between sleeping with my family and sleeping alone, I generally like to sleep where my family is." Meanwhile, police were turning away cars, bicyclists, and joggers attempting to enter the state popular park. "I'm confused about it," said Rona Harris, who traveled from Princeton to spend the holiday weekend at Island Beach. "For 4th of July weekend? It's unfortunate. It's ironic. Governor Christie, get the hell off the beach," Larry Mano of Ridgefield, Connecticut, told the Asbury Park Press, mocking what Christie told residents leading up to Hurricane Sandy. Henry Walker, a local fisherman, was so angry at Christie and his family were staying that Christie and his family were staying at the beach, he let loose some colorful language the New York Times described as a stream of unprintable. Even Trentonian columnist Jeff Edelstein, who has often defended Christie throughout his 2 terms as governor, called his decision to stay on Island Beach State Park over the holiday weekend, quote unquote, ridiculous. You'd think Christie would realize that staying at the shore house, would be the textbook example of bad optics. You think he'd care in the slightest bit, Elstein wrote. You'd think wrong. New Jersey's government is shut down for the first time since 2006 because of the budget impasse that hinges on Christie's proposal to restructure Horizon Blue Cross Blue Shield of New Jersey. This isn't the first time Christie has been criticized for his vacation plans. Back in 2010, Christie declined to cancel a trip to Disney World following a blizzard that slammed parts of New Jersey with more than 2 feet of snow. Lieutenant Governor Kim Wada was also on vacation at the time in Mexico, forcing State Senate President Stephen Sweeney, a Democrat, to serve as acting governor. Yes, this was a big snow, but we are a northeastern state, and we've got plenty of snow, including heavy hits like this, Christie's spokesman at the time, Michael Junior, adding the criticism of the governor was overblown. Okay, this fat ass should not be governor anymore. He has dragged his state to epic proportions of absurdity and pathetic embarrassment. It's obviously disgusting. Now that this beach controversy came up, now it's hard to find a budget plan for the state. That's understandable. But to do such a dick move as to have your family on one beach where the other New Jerseyans, disgusting. And his response to this is just as he knows he did wrong. But instead of owning up to it like a responsible politician would, He decides to pussy down and decides to give that response. That's just the way it goes. Fuck the way it goes. You're supposed to serve the people. You deserve to. Your job is to make your state better and have a healthy, safe place for your people to live. Apparently in New Jersey, that's not how it goes. I've heard stories of people living in poverty, people killing each other for things, rows of houses shut down or closed in, L&I not doing their jobs or something like that. I've heard stories like this before on the news. It's insane. And I live in a state that borders New Jersey. I hear things like that all the time in my state, but it's not as horrible what goes on there. For Christ's sakes, this man, I thought this man, after, so in which he actually did his job, but after this, my God, he really deserves that low rating he deserves. And his response to all this, he should be resigning. Not sorry. He should not have a job anymore as governor if he continues to do crap like this. And then here's his response to this, which makes me absolutely want to punch him in his face. He did not show any remorse. He did not show any shame. He was absolutely pathetic. Let's take a listen to this. He deserves all this hate.
That would be over. I'm a little frustrated, quite frankly, at this point, that no one will send me any budget. I'm sitting here waiting for a budget, and no one will send me one. I quoted a great American philosopher, Wimpy, from the Popeye cartoons. You know, when he would say, I'd be glad to pay you tomorrow for a hamburger today. If I'm paying for the hamburger, I'm getting it today. Not waiting and trusting Vinny Prieto to do it, sometime over the summer. No, I didn't, Claude, but go ahead. I didn't get any sun today. My question is, are there lifeguards at... No. No, there's no one at Island Beach State Park. There are no lifeguards. There's no one to pick up the garbage. There's no one providing any services at Island Beach State Park. Next. Excuse me. Next. I'm done. We're talking about the closure of government, and you're talking about your TMZ stuff.
Fuck you. It's that mentality that he has that just makes me want to kick his nuts. But then again, as fat as he is, I don't know if I'll ever locate my foot to his. Okay, at first, he wants to say, oh, I wanted a budget, but these people won't give me one. I tried my hardest to... You didn't try your hardest at all. You just said, I just want a budget, and these people won't give me one. How about you freaking call them and ask them what kind of budget they have, and then talk with them about it? That's what a politician does. They do their best to make sure there's something on hand to sign, or to help save the people, or to take care of them. They look after things. And if things get dirty, you work dirty. Not dirty enough to act like Trump or anything, but you do your damnedest to make sure whatever you want to protect the people of your state or to help them out is done. And when things don't look good, you work even harder. You work harder than them. You make them do what their job is. That's what your job is. And that you have this douche-ass mentality saying, oh, I wanted a budget, and I want these people to... just going to sit there and wait until they give me one. This is why people hate you. You're not doing the job that they voted you for. But then again, you are a Republican. Most of these people vote Republican, so I don't know if I should say that's what they deserve. But then again, they did not deserve a lazy-ass, fat pumpkin of a of a governor to just sit around or go to a beach that's closed to other people but his family and make a reference to a hamburger to have this job. For Christ's sakes, man, just resign. And back to the beach thing, you cannot tell people with a straight face that you not get any sun when you look like you're close to the same shade of color that orange has. You look like you did get some sun, or else you secretly went to a tanning salon to give yourself a nice little bronzer. Face it, you knew that you got to a beach with your family on your own, and you knew that you did wrong. And you expect that when they'll never give this up. And they'll know they'll never give this up because that is just one of the many, many examples of you not doing your job, either good or at all, that they'll use to just get you out of office. And you deserve to get out of office, Krispy Kreme Christie, because you're a piece of shit of a politician and you did not deserve your job for another term. You didn't even deserve one after your first term. All you can do now is just sit down, think about what you've done as a governor and why all of New Jersey is looking at you with disgust, shame, and embarrassment. You ruined your state like President Orange ruined this country so far. But the sad difference is he's got a better rating than you. I think it's time you should think what your life is now. Because after this, no one will ever look at you better or the same. And that just makes me happy right now. But then again, enjoy that hamburger analogy just then, because I'm sure you thought about having like 10 of those later on that day. Oh, and speaking of Popeye, eat some spinach, you lard ass. All right, next story. Now, DeRay McKesson is a activist for Black Lives Matter. A powerful, very well-known activist towards issues of the black race. But from that one stupid action I mentioned earlier, that could have been avoided with work and research and monetary power. This is one reaction that could have been rewarded by watching the damn source material. Now, McKesson's work of restoring equality and credibility of Black people has been praised and acknowledged across the country and across the internet. But if you haven't, you probably have heard of him after this eye-raising controversy this week when McKesson tweeted disgust and outrage when he noticed the vest of a character of the highly anticipated film War for the Planet of the Apes. He claims, since deleted tweets, that the film is mocking him with the use of a character by the name of Bad Ape. Now, this character wears a vest in the movie. His claim is that, of all this, the film features a racist allegory comparing apes to Black people. But if anything, the most telling thing about this is because that Bad Ape wears a vest just similar to his. Now, if you watch the movies, whether the originals or the remake or the reboot series, you damn well know that that is not the case. But since we're here, let's take a look at what he had to say that started all this mess. Now, McKesson took to Twitter after seeing a poster of the film, and he had to say, history of rendering Black people as apes. I'm offended and appalled by the lack of consciousness in Hollywood. He later shows a poster with a circle around Bad Ape and shows a Pop Funko version of Bad Ape with the vest included. In associating black people with apes, active work is being done to perpetuate the dehumanization of black people and mass media. Planet of the Apes. Now, in this article from the Daily Caller, he wasn't the only one to notice the vest and assign racism to it. This tweet came from fellow social activist Tariq Nasheed, who responds with, "Does the new Planet of the Apes poster have racially coded messages? Notice the hashtag Black Lives Matter symbolism. Notice the ape with blue vest." Yeah, I noticed the ape with the blue vest, and I say, that does not look like the Ray McKesson. It definitely does not. If you even watch the Planet of the Apes series, you know that there is no allegory of racism going on. There is no comparison between black people and apes. The plot of the film is when astronauts land on a planet that seemingly looks a bit like Earth and features talking apes as its citizens. Now, a huge struggle goes along between one of the astronauts, played by Charlton Heston, and the people of this planet. If you watch the films, especially the first and original film, you know there is no racism in this film pertaining to black people. The apes are of a different kind of humans, or some say. They are not black people. I'm sure you could notice this because they sound like white people, because they are voiced or played by white actors in costumes. The fact that people still assume today that the allegory of the original film and series pertaining to black people is absolutely absurd, and dare I add, damn stupid. If you watch the films and look much closer at the story going on and pay attention, you know that there's nothing about this going on. There is no racism here. The only racism there is that these apes are treated like animals, not like people, is what they want. Like Heston to treat them like he would want to be treated. You know, the golden rule or something like that. And I won't to watch to understand, but this definitely is a story in nature and behavior of society in this world today that didn't need to be addressed and was addressed very well. Considering that the film was written by Rod Serling, it really makes a lot of sense. What doesn't make a lot of sense is the fact that Ray McKesson thinks that this character, Bad Ape, looks like him because of the vest. That's it. Not because of racism, not because of the story that he assumes is based on racism towards black people, because of the age-old assumption by some white people that black people act like apes. No. This is all about the fact that an ape character just has an association of it. DeRay, get the fuck over yourself. This character, Bad Ape, is nothing like you. If he was, he wouldn't pick up something like a smart person would and think, oh, this is actually interesting. Has nothing to do with me or racism or anything like this. This is a very well-written, powerful statement about the history and actions of society today that we should all pick up on. No, not, oh wow, this character looks like me because he's wearing a vest like I am. Seriously, get the fuck over yourself. You do not own the blue vest look that you wear. You do not own wearing a vest. If you would, you probably would accuse Dipper Pines of stealing the look from you, despite the fact that he, wore a vest before you did. Look, I know you're working very hard to restore the good rights and open equality of black people, and you're all doing it in your blue vest. The problem is, again, you generally do not own the blue vest look. You don't even own the look of black vest entirely. I could wear a vest and nobody would assume that I look like you or I am you. I just wear a vest because it looks cool. It's a very great clothing accessory to wear. Don't act for a second like just because you wear it, you own the look over everybody else. That's just self-centered. And back to the movie, if you'd watched the movie when it came out, it's out in theaters now. I suggest you watch it. Or at least watch the original film. You would have understood immediately, or at least taken the time to understand that the film series has nothing to do with racism against black people. It has to do with the racism against people that are not like actual humans. If you do think so, you need to wake the fuck up and get over yourself. Okay? I'm not the only one who thought that this idea of his was stupid. Many people took to Twitter and expressed their annoyance at this statement, including this guy, Robbie Starbuck, who tweeted this. You're outraged because they're recreating the look of the original Ape in 1968. You don't own wearing blue vests, man. Grow up. It's sad that people try to agree with him or had agreed with him just because the two wear a vest. Apparently watching the movie would have changed everything. But no, just looking at these characters without them moving or hearing them talk definitely adds to the assumption that he looks like them. Just, wow. And it's funny because some people made these tweets satirizing the fact that the producers of the film in 1960, future, saw his vest and thought, oh, that vest that man is wearing. Let's copy his look and design these vests for these characters that are similar to him, for these characters of this film. That's very funny, but apparently some people would think so too. So, Ray, please do not think that culturally appropriating the style of this character from this new film or from the film series before that film is offensive and racist. You look so pathetic about it. For now, I'm going to say this. You are a great social activist and racial activist. You are fantastic at what you're doing, and please continue doing it. Just do not look at any more movie characters looking like you just because they're wearing a vest and assuming that they stole the look from you. You don't own anything that involves clothes. Hell, you're not even famous because of the vest. If you were, again, look at Dipper Pines. He's done it before you. He wore on at the time, but then again, that hat he's worn is much more famous than that. But then again, just don't think people are copying from you because of the article of clothing you wear. Because if so, you deserve all the criticism and laughter in this world because of it. Okay. For this next story, I'm going to take a look at what was once a very talented actor who definitely had a great life and career ahead of him that later turned it all to pot. Basically by smoking it, I assume. And getting into crazy, crazy incidents that led him to assume his life isn't worth acting or isn't worth anything. His name, Shia LaBeouf. And by golly, I've lost all respect for Shia LaBeouf. Now, He's been well known these days for getting into crazy incidents that pretty much overshadowed his acting career. But then again, starring in the Transformers series definitely deserves all of that overshadowing. Now, in recent years, his crazy incidents have gotten him in more infamy than his films. You remember that incident where he went to a red carpet event and wore a bag over his head that said, "I am not famous anymore," or that green screen video encouraging the people to just do it. That live stream of him watching his or somebody's movies, or just every single instance of him on a sidewalk fighting someone or yelling at someone like some crazy side chick. Yeah, he's done all that, and yet somehow he's still a famous actor. Well, this latest instance, he definitely deserves to not be an actor anymore. Now, in this video I'm about to play for you, his latest incident involves a black cop who he curses at, repeatedly calls a bitch, and in one instance, threatened to kill him. And yet black people always end up killed by cops for no reason. Let's listen to this before I bust a blood vessel.
You're a fucking bitch to the end of your days, and you live that legacy. That's what you signed up for, bitch made whore. If I have my gun, I'll blow your shit up. You're a bitch, though. So you got your shit, you do nothing. You said what, homie? Whore. Fucking bitch. Coward. Fuck you and your legacy. You got a kid? Hope so. Hope so you can know what the fuck no-so is going. You're a bitch. For leagues. Not for years. A bitch for leagues. You're a pirate bitch. Bitch. And you put your own kind in the fucking pen. For nothing. You put a white man in the pen for what? You fucking bitch. For asking for a black man for a cigarette? You're about to meet my lawyer, and you made this trip for nothing. And you feel like a stupid slimy whore. Enjoy your life. That's your legacy, you fucking coward.
Hey, if you listen closely, you can hear the credibility and lovability of an actor dwindling like a babbling brook. Where to even begin here? Let's see. Calling him a bitch repeatedly. Sad. Talking about his quote-unquote legacy and whatever his son is going to do would be less like him. You know, if he ever said that to me, no, forget the fact he's calling me a bitch or anything like that. If he says anything about my son ending up like me in his context, I'd beat the fuck out of him and then bash his head against the wall. You know, just until he's so barely breathing. But it gets even worse when he threatened to kill the cop. Now, as I mentioned earlier, the cop is black. And we've had many instances in this country of black men, and in some cases black women, ending up getting killed by white cops. The cop in this instance arrested LaBeouf and didn't do anything wrong to him. He didn't beat him up. He didn't shoot him. He didn't just physically assault him brutally. He did what a cop should do in most cases like this. He puts handcuffs on a suspect, puts him in the squad car, whatever car, and just drives off to the station. No violence, no death, nothing. It's really sad how this white man, or whatever nationality he is, because he doesn't look all the way white to me, maybe some shade of some nationality, He winds his ass off and threatens to kill a cop, and the cop does nothing, while in many sad instances of black men or black women who don't do anything to the officer or anything, they get shot and killed. This is the mentality we're in, folks. I don't want to get any political or something type of stuff, but this is what I'm getting at. And putting that aside, it's sad, pathetic how low this actor, whom I shouldn't refer to as an actor anymore, has gotten himself into. He's been known for many legendary roles, some likable, some not. But it seems like his most famous performance yet is acting like white trailer trash. And every instance of it, whether recorded on the front of a cell phone camera, or in this case, a quad car camera, really looks like the aftermath of him getting shit-faced or fighting someone, or both. You really can't tell with these instances. He's really unpredictable. And it really seems like his life has just turned to some weird art piece like Sia or some shit. And funnily enough, I mentioned Sia because he was in that weird-ass video for Elastic Heart. He and Maddie Ziegler in flesh tone underdress, like dancing around in a birdcage and something, freaking out everyone. This seems like to be his thing now. And the sad thing is, he's continued to do so for the past couple of years, and it seems to never stop. And at this point, after cursing out and threatening to kill a cop, I've lost respect and credibility for him now. At this point, I really think he's the male Lindsay Lohan. That's really what I think he is now. Why do you think so? Well, they do share some major similarities. They both were talented young actors. They starred in memorable Disney films like The Parent Trap and Holes, and they both reached continued success in film as adults. Then, of course, they began a downward spiral later on, which is where we are today. Lindsay's trying to get her career back on track. Sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. See Liz and Dick. But in Shia's case, he's still occasionally acting. He claims he's not famous anymore and doesn't want to act anymore. That's from what I heard. But if he doesn't want to act anymore, here's some advice for you, Shia. Just don't act anymore. If you don't want to act anymore, if you don't want to have a career in acting, just say so. Just do it. I'm sorry, that's my impersonation of him during that video. You see, if you don't want to act, just go on Twitter or any social media site. Doesn't matter. Don't care. And let all of your fans and the critics and everyone know that that you have announced I am done with acting. I've lived a long, wonderful life in acting and in Hollywood, but I've decided I need to take some time off and get my life back on track. I've just grown disillusioned with acting, with everything about it, film, television, whatever. I need to take some time to breathe and rethink where my life is going to be. I've just gotten tired of the roles I've played, and I feel I need to change for the better of myself, my family, my fans, and my career. I'm sorry for everything I put you all through and everything that I've done to embarrass myself, my family, and tarnish my career, and put disappointment on my fans. I feel it's time I should stop this. I feel it's time I should give up all the craziness I've been getting into and change myself for the better. Now that is what he should have said. That is what he should have done before. But nah, he decides to just make up some shitty apology about all this. And it's not believable at all. Now, a few days after the incident, he decided to apologize for his actions, saying he felt, quote, unquote, deeply ashamed for his actions. This article from CNN, he wrote, oh, not an article, he didn't write that. He said in a statement, I am deeply ashamed of my behavior and make no excuses for it. I'm certain that my actions warrant a very sincere apology to the arresting officers, and I am grateful for it. Okay, here's the real thing. Here's the full thing. I am deeply ashamed of my behavior and make no excuses for it. I don't know if these statements are too frequent or not shared often enough, but I'm certain that my actions warrant a very sincere apology to the arresting officers, and I am grateful for their restraint. Sorry about that. The severity of my behavior is not lost on me. My outright disrespect for authority is problematic to say the least, and completely destructive to say the worst. It is a new low. A low I hope is a bottom. I have been struggling with addiction publicly for too long, and I am actively taking steps toward securing my sobriety and hope I can be forgiven for my mistakes. That sounded pretty good. I should go to acting myself. I bet that really fooled you for a second there. But seriously, that just sounds so plastic, so made up. It really sounds like some PR guy wrote it for him. Or maybe he did, it just doesn't sound genuine enough. This is not something I should accept or apologize for, accept or anything or whatever, but I wouldn't accept his apology for this. Not for the fact because I used to be a fan, but for the fact that as a person who watches people act like this every day and yet get paid for talent or whatever little talent they have left, it makes me ashamed because there's no humanity in this. There's no humility in this. They just do what they do and get paid for it and not show any restraint or humanity in it. Sure, they're acting, but when you're doing something in real life that affects you or your career or your family or yourself, I'm sorry, I said something like that twice. It makes you look like an apathetic asshole. And that's what he is. He doesn't care about the fact that what he's doing is ruining his life or ruining his career. He just does it just because. I don't know what's going on with him that caused all this. If it's personal, I feel deeply sorry for him, and I think he does need to seek help. Because at this point, I really shouldn't care for him anymore because of the fact that he keeps getting into things like this that jeopardize his career and ruins his life bit by bit. He really needs help. And I really do think that after this, he should go and get some. If he really doesn't care about his career or doesn't want one anymore, he should just say so and just go get help and then rethink about his career. Because after this, I'm done with Shia LaBeouf. His movies that I like, I could still watch them, but I'm not going to with all the excitement and joy that I had for them when I was a kid. For now, Shia LaBeouf is a Shia Doof. Okay, time for the final story, and this one I'm ultimately excited about. Now, we all know Doctor Who, the longest-running television series based in science fiction in the world, which will be back for a 10th series, I think, in the fall, I think. Hold on. Yes, I assume so. But Its big news has just come earlier today, in which the new Doctor has been announced. Now, for some backstory, its previous portrayal of the Doctor, Peter Capaldi, has announced last year that his last series would be his last series. The last series, of course, has already aired. And after the Christmas special, he'll be leaving Doctor Who in his role as the 12th Doctor. And of course, since Doctor Who is well known for its main title character for regenerating to a different personality and a different face and a different clothing choice and a different actor in rotation, that's what makes it so legendary for its longevity. And now, a person steps into the Doctor's shoes, and of course, his TARDIS. But the reason I say person is because the new Doctor isn't a man. For the first time ever, for the first time ever, he will now be played by a woman. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Will now be played by a female. Here's the news from BBC News. And of course, BBC is the company behind Doctor Who. The actress's name is the 15th Time Lord of the new Doctor Who series, the first woman to be given the role. She was revealed in a trailer broadcast at the end of the Wimbledon men's singles final. The Broadchurch star, yes, this actress was best known for another British legendary series called Broadchurch. The Broadchurch star succeeds Peter Capaldi, who took over in 2013 and leaves in the forthcoming Christmas special. Whittaker, age 35, said it was, quote, overwhelming as a feminist, unquote, to become the next Doctor. She will make her debut on the sci-fi show when the Doctor regenerates in the forthcoming Christmas. Who was a late favorite to become the Doctor, we'll find a familiar face for her on set. Doctor Who's new showrunner is Broadchurch creator Chris Chibnall. Whittaker said, I'm beyond excited to begin this epic journey with Chris and with every Whovian on this planet. It's more than an honor to play the Doctor. It means remembering everyone I used to be while stepping forward to embrace everything the Doctor stands for. Hope. I can't wait. Now back to that part of the article. Yes, Doctor Who will have a new showrunner as soon as the Christmas special ends. Chris Chibnall, creator of Broadchurch, will be replacing its current, until the Christmas special, showrunner, Stephen Moffat, who is also best known for a classic British comedy series, Coupling. Yes, that's it. Now, this is a favorite of mine because I began very open, very frank, and very funny. I suggest you guys watch it. It's hilarious. Now back to the article. The actress also shares another Broadchurch link with Doctor Who. Co-star David Tennant, you guys know who he is, was the 10th Doctor. A lot of links between Broadchurch and New Who, which honestly makes me very excited, at least from a technical standpoint. Now back to the article. It was always unlikely that the Doctor would continue to be white and male, especially as the BBC has committed itself to greater diversity programs. Casting the first female Doctor is something many viewers have been calling for, and strong female lead stories have been successful on the big and small screen in recent years, in films ranging from The Hunger Games and Star Wars to Wonder Woman, and in TV series like Game of Thrones. The BBC will be hoping today's announcement will not just excite viewers, but will also demonstrate that the time travel show has firmly moved into the 21st century. To take on the role, saying it feels completely overwhelming as a feminist, as a woman, as an actor, as a human, as someone who wants to continually push themselves and challenge themselves, and not be boxed in by what you're told you can and can't be. And she told fans not to be scared by her gender. Because this is a really exciting time, and Doctor Who represents everything that's exciting about change, she said, adding, the fans have lived through so many changes, and this is only a new one, different one, not a fearful one. Of course, since the Doctor is well known for regenerating from one personality to another, and of course from one actor to another, this is only a testament to its longevity throughout the years, especially after being brought back as a regular series. Whittaker said she had used the codename Gloomy. You know what? I'll skip this part because who cares? Chibnall said the 13th Doctor was always going to be a woman. He said, I always knew I wanted the 13th Doctor to be a woman, and we're thrilled to have secured our #1 choice. Her audition for the Doctor simply blew us all away. Jodie is an in-demand, funny, inspiring, super smart force of nature that will bring loads of wit, strength, and warmth to the role. The 13th Doctor is on her way. I said earlier, Moffat leaves the series at the same time as Capaldi. Capaldi, who said he wanted to see a woman replace him, said, anyone who has seen Jodie Whittaker's work will know that she is a wonderful actress and great individuality and charm. She has, above all, the huge heart to play the most special part. She's going to be a fantastic Doctor. Former companions Billie Piper and Karen Gillan had called for a female Time Lord, while Doctor Who and Sherlock writer Mark Gatiss said it was the perfect time for a woman to take the lead role. After the announcement, Piper treated the word yes with a red rose emoji. Of course, a symbol of her character, Rose Tyler, being the first companion of the new series. While fellow companion Prima Agyeman, tweeted, change isn't a dirty word. Dedicated Whovians were quick to react to the news of Jodie Whittaker taking over the TARDIS. On social media, some said it was, but others said the casting meant that they would be switching off, and that the Doctor should be played by a man. Carla Joanna tweeted to say that she would be tuning in and that the trailer made me choke up a little. Another tweeter, Ayad, said, I don't even watch Doctor Who, but a woman doctor is so cool. But Samantha Melton said, I'm a woman and a feminist, but I don't want a female doctor. To me, it's trying too hard to tick the boxes. Okay. Doctor Who writer Jenny Colgan, who has written for the series books and audio dramas, said, I am, of course, incredibly excited for the new Doctor as a woman. Stephen Moffat has been paving the way for this for ages, and it's absolutely about time. Let's see. Okay. Actress Olivia Colman, who starred in a Doctor Who episode and was one of the possible candidates for the role, said it was a classy decision. The creatives made the right decision that the part should be played by a woman, and it's about time, she told BBC News. She added, those unhappy about Whittaker being the new Time Lord should leave her alone and let her do her job brilliantly. Now, I have heard the news, well, at least the rumors, say the Time Lord. And watching Doctor Who for a few years now as a fan, I've heard of the series for years, but I began watching it a few years ago as a fan. It made me very interested to see what it would look like with the Time Lord playing a woman. And after hearing these news, I'm ultimately excited, super excited, Alonzi excited, because honestly, I don't care who plays the role of the Doctor, whether it be a man or a woman, whether it be white or black or whatever. I just want to see what this actor brings to the table as a different personality and see where he or she will go in the role. I've seen Peter Capaldi do this, David Tennant do this. Let's see, Matt Smith do this. That's it. And Christopher Eccleston, how he did this. Basically, the actors of the new Who series. Fantastic jobs and have secured their places as legendary doctors, even climbing up to the ranks of some of the most memorable legendary doctors, including my favorite of the series, the Fourth Doctor, played by Tom Baker. And basically, it is well deserved. Now with this new female Time Lord, and for those thinking, should we call this new 13th Doctor a Time Lady instead of a Time Lord, if there are those? I don't think this should happen. I think let's keep it Time Lord, because no matter what, it's still the Doctor, and it's still a legendary role, and calling it Time Lady would definitely weaken the power and strength and love that the Doctor is known for. Keeping it that way would be a great idea. I so cannot wait to see this new female Doctor in action. But of course, we have to wait until the Christmas special, because the trailer did show her for the first time. And for that, I'm going to play you. I'm going to play you the trailer for the new Doctor. I'm not sure if she speaks in this, but here we go. You are about to watch the new 13th Doctor in action. Wow, that is expectedly is really exciting, even though I've heard the news earlier today. It's really breathtaking too. And again, I am so excited to see this new Doctor in action in the Christmas special. But then again, after watching the last Christmas special in which Peter Capaldi was announced as the 12th Doctor, it didn't really last long. But at least we got to hear him speak. I'm sorry, I was thinking of the 50th anniversary special. We only got to see his eyes. But then again, we did hear him talk, and it did bring us a lot of excitement for what's to come for his Peter Capaldi series. And now I can't wait to see what will happen during the Christmas special. Oh, and just a reminder, the Doctor has a new companion named a new woman companion named she's a woman named what's her name? I know it's a male-like name. That's it. Pearl Mackie. That's companion. But that's her. He already has a new companion, but because of the fact that he has the companion has a new. Oh, her name is Bill. Okay. The fact that Bill has a new doctor to contend with is going to be very exciting, and I can't wait to see what goes next. So, a brand new doctor and a brand new adventure to go on with a relatively new companion. We'll see what happens on the Christmas special, December 25th, here on BBC America in the US, BBC One in the UK, and a bunch of other BBC stations across the world, or movie theater in that type of region. I still can't wait for this. All right, that's it for this edition of Maroon Mondays Live. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed what you saw, please click the like button and subscribe. Don't forget to click the notification bell if you'd like to be notified for future videos. And I've got a lot more going on the blog. If you've been watching the blog, I'm back to reviewing Star vs. the Forces of Evil. If you don't know, I'm reviewing Star vs. the Forces of Evil. And if you've watched Star there, the Battle for Muni, and I will be reviewing that once I'm done reviewing Season 2, which will be done very soon. I also have some Toonie Tuesday reviews to go to. There's, let's see, Hotel Transylvania, this new series coming up called Welcome to the Wayne. I'll be reviewing the web series they'll be basing on the TV series, which will debut next week. And I hope you guys will like that. Plus, I'm going to be trying to do Canadian cartoons for the next few weeks. And the first one I will be doing is a new series, well, relatively new, called Chuck's Choice. I don't love it. In fact, I should say, we should call it Chuck's Choice. I'm sorry, that was in my head for way too long. But for now, that's all that's coming up. I will be hoping to do more short, long music reviews. I should be doing that again. This time I'll be trying to review songs for the summer, then see which ones might be good enough, or I don't know. And of course, I'll try to do next week's show for next week. Hopefully there will be a few to do, because I hope that this shorter version will be much more enticing, you guys. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next week. And until then, I'll see you on the blog. I'm Andrew, and I'll see you around.